So this is the drill that we're about to do, live fire. Only now we have an opportunity to do it in virtual reality. All right, whenever you're ready. So. Yep.
That dot is still weird throwing yellow.
Oh, the dot on the headset?
Yeah, I'm like, is that a red dot?
Just ignore it.
No, just ignore the red dot. So, hey, where like the mouse cursor is, like that's what he's seeing is like a red dot, and so that allows, like, they don't need the controller. That allows them to like look at the door handle, and the door will open up. Right. Ah. Okay. So nice work. Work your way back to the inside of the car. If you can find it. Watch out for the back. It's got the AR. Okay. Yeah. So. When we look at like what the opportunities we have are how we can make the most of the opportunities available to us. Not all of us can drop cars on a range that we can shoot live fire in. Not all of us have training cars that we can run MLTA in. The nice part about virtual reality is if I've done dry skill sets, this allows me a measure of scalability. So guys are like, hey, not you specifically, right? But let's say you have someone in your department that's kind of sketchy safety-wise, right? Maybe it's just us, right? So if I have someone who's kind of sketchy safety-wise, scalability, right? I can go red gun, stick gun only. I can go MLTA, so if he flags the shit out of it, like, yeah, it hurts, but no one dies. This is another measure of scalability. I can put them inside the car, and we can work. Okay, so just seated. Work the left and right target there while you're in the seated position. So have him work through the windshield. The ballistics Taylor's done a great job working with his team to get them as set as possible. So having guys work the port, like creating that port, they're able to work on that. So now if I was going to have them work, okay, so just look like you're going to shoot out the right side of the car. Shift your hips and look. I know, right? And then same thing, you go back and do the left side of the car.
Whoa. There's no console.
Alright, so yeah, same thing for the console. Alright, so that allows you, so now I'm getting guys working left side to the right side of the car in an environment that if he flags the shit out of himself or discharges around into his thigh, the only thing that's getting shot is virtual reality and not the actual human being as we work through it. So again, a measure of scalability. Same thing is like, hey, we all know training for night shift is terrible, right? Like you either have to shift it and have guys come in early, or you have to like reserve time within the simulator. This gives you the opportunity to now, hey man, like you're trained in it, here's the headset, I want you to go to station 11 and I want you guys to like follow it in, safety check him, and now he can get repetition sitting in a vehicle, working left side, windshield, right side, and then bail out of the vehicle. Like they have the ability to do all that. So again, a measure of scalability.
So you can incorporate that right there in their tool?
Yep, you can incorporate it right then and there. Yeah, for active shooter, so we got a demo unit from Taylor. The way I incorporated it into active shooter is I had a classroom set up, and we have multiple thresholds set up. So I can now do shoot no shoot decision makers with guys like running with AI running through, and they can continue to work that threshold assessment. So I don't need a whole school with NLTA. It's a skill set station that I push officers into. Again, a measure of scalability depending on your budget for one, but ability to. Or space available, and then kind of like after that, what you're really limited by is your imagination. How you incorporate this into skill set training really comes down to the training. So you can set up whatever drill that you can imagine. So for example, if we go back to that open skills versus closed skills, I can drop the qual target in between that. You guys remember from the safety brief yesterday talking about like, hey, how often do we get to train the actual forward firearm safety rule? What is between my muzzle and the target? It's left and right lateral limits. Well, I can now drop AI, and so that they are moving back and forth in front of that qual target. I can put AI so that they're behind the target. I cannot shoot a paper target, I can shoot what looks like a human being. So I have the dude aggressing on me, and I have the family behind me. So now I have to change my position in order to get that engagement. Something you can do under NLTA, but if I truly want to train that, what are my logistics needed to train that in simuation? Right? I need a role player. Well, I need multiple role players. One volunteering to get shot, other role players to volunteer to be moving in the background, and I need this space available to do that. So again, one of the things that came up in our officer involved shooting a couple years ago was distance to target and how that person was moving. And they're like, hey, have you ever trained this in simunition? And one of the restrictions in simunition is accuracy at distance, yes? So like, yeah, we haven't done a whole lot of training simunition-wise or scenario-based training-wise at distance because that's the limitation of the system. Whereas this has actual ballistics incorporated into it, so what it takes to take a 25-yard pistol shot, what that person looks like at 30 yards, what that person looks like at 40, etc., etc. as we go through it. So again, just a level of scalability that allows you to plug it into the program. All right. Taylor, missing anything else?
No, go ahead and shoot the car.
Yeah. Oh, so this is when we talk. You guys remember the ballistic thing? Like I said, yeah?
Shoot any part of the car.
Assisting police on
Go to the front of the car, shoot into the windshield. But you're going to as best you can, kind of deal.
Okay, so you guys see deviation and deflection there, yes? With
Pop back in the car. Shoot through a non-portable, clean part of the glass. Now the deviation is a bit too extreme. We're still tightening that up, but you'll see how the first round will deviate and the follow-on round will go through the bowl. And stand up, take a look.
So we don't have the opportunity to have everybody shoot through glass. Like, don't get me wrong, you guys will get opportunity to shoot through glass today. But think about what it takes for you to get that opportunity. You have to have your department send you to a vehicle-based class in order for you to see what actually occurs ballistically. Versus I can drop my entire department through this ballistic demo, and they can now get experience recording the windshield in VR and being held accountable to their accuracy standard, right? So first shot deviates, and now I create that port, and now I get actual shots on target. Cool?
So how are you determining the ballistics portion as it pertains to pillars? Like what are you using to determine as far as how many rounds are going to pass through, whether they pass completely or don't pass through? How are you determining that on the VR side?
So we actually take the model of the car and we split it up into its component pieces. Okay. So we have the metal, plastic, any of those little components are split apart, assign an individual value, and penetration or deflection is applied.
Okay.
So you essentially take the data that these guys get, and the FBI gets,
right?
Put it into ones and zeros.
Yes. Now there's like a ton of different points to it. So like I said, the deflection, for example, is one thing that we're tightening up right now because it is too extreme, but it just gives you an idea of how every single part of this car, like, we've split it open and redone it. We've done this with a few different cars, SUV, a few other ones.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard something about like potentially for like training from state to state. Like if Dan is over where he's at, I'm where I'm at.
Yeah, the system can be connected over the internet. So we've already run active shooter response between 3 countries.
Yes. So due to the headset in Canada, right? Texas, which is its own country, right? And then guys somewhere else in Michigan, right? So 3 of them are able to connect to the headset and clear a building together, just based on the boundary and the system that they're So.
Dan, I don't want to take a swing to the class, but I do want to show you the leg real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people can see what that's like.
Yep.
I love Florida.
Need a volunteer?
Yeah, go.
Tyler.
Alright, So if you look on the screen, you'll see how the leg goes on and off the trigger here. Now it's going to be a big grip style here. And then you see these spots. So because we're in this classroom environment, everyone's like, oh shit, I can only move so much around the car. Well, we put these teleport points down, and if you just look at them, it'll take you to that spot. All right, so it expands your ability to kind of move around.
I think the worst part about that, like, the whole environment was really awesome, was like literally, I tried to step into the cars. I tried to grab the steering wheel. Like, because when you have that on,
First things first.
It really does.
So you're
look
like at the edge of the boundary. You like the
So, and that's a good point for him to make, right? When you do a lot of these demos, you guys are looking at a 2-dimensional rendering of a 3-dimensional world. So, as you can see, as he's walking through, like, does it look like he's actually like in reality? And it feels real to him, yes? All right. So he's walking, yeah, he's looking in the floor.
That's right, good.
No.
Your friend here is.
Dan, what are you seeing though? I'm just trying to think about.
Yeah.
Can you add
Young
ambient
guys
lighting
versus old guys.
like additional lighting?
I just wanted to make it extra dark for fun.
Okay.
Shit, you know, just you got the young guys that are on grade.
So the context and intent here is that you're working pursuit. The guys build out, you know, after the pursuit. And you're basically
guys
trying to get
will be resistant to it.
higher
For
up
the
access
older
to
dudes
the
that didn't grow up playing video games, it is a longer adjustment period. But as with anything, like the more often that they do it, the more comfortable that they'll be. It's also about scalability. So I will have the older dudes that just look super uncomfortable and get kind of queasy. We're going to do your stationary work, like seated inside the vehicle, and I'm going to put moving targets around it. Right? For the younger guys that are super comfortable, like they play Oculus at home with their kids.
How far can it go?
I don't know if you guys saw the screen going black. That means he's escaping rounds. Yeah.
Single-handedly.
So you got the teleport point too on your right.
So your screen's getting pretty black.
So see that teleport point on the other side of the car. So you can go to that side.
Nope.
Go back there if you need to.
Sure.
And there's one on the other side too.
So I can actually use this as.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this.
It's all fun and games till someone runs into the table.
All right.
You're in the back.
Oh, hey, Chief.
This is. Yeah, you have to do some recipes, but that's awesome.
So how much are these running now?
What's up?
How much are these running?
I actually don't know what to
10K is your first unit, 20 after that.
So, when we look at comparatively, does any agency have like a virtua or a simulator, like either the flat screen or the actual like 270 kind of thing, right? So, a very specific person who has to know how to run it. It's in a very set location, and at the end of the day, you're still working with a screen. So we are limited in the environment that we can do this in. Versus, for what virtua is running, you can get a few headsets. And then now incorporate that into training on a more regular basis as a skilled developer. So think about it this way: like the reason I show you guys this now, or the reason this is cool, I think now, because Taylor happened to be in the area and I had him come out, is that at the end of today, if you're like, man, I wish I could just get more reps doing bailout or interior work, like this would be an opportunity for you to like put the headset on and work left, right. Ballistics with the windshield, like that's additional repetition. That's just not always seen, kind of thing, right? At the cost of room space, right? Versus like vehicle range guy who has to be there, like limitations of that particular range. So it's not perfect, right? Nothing is, but when we compare it to like other training modalities. I think this certainly is gaining a stronger place within law enforcement. like Taylor says it all the time, I completely agree with it, is like screen systems are going to be like dinosaur relics within 5 years, right? Because of the opportunities that this provides you and the flexibility within training kind of thing.